your American dream?
My American dream is all Americans respect each other and come together as one country rather than being so divisive.
My American dream is whoever wants to immigrate to United States to get their documents and to get whatever they want.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. What are we, Tuesday, October 12th? I got tongue-tied for a second there, Yo-Yo. How are you, my friend?
Amazing.
Amazing.
I'm here and not sick.
You are here and not sick.
Yes, thank God.
Had a little scary sickness last week.
I did.
How are you, Nesquik, back in Florida?
I'm doing great, and that was a tongue twister. Tuesday 12, it was just a lot.
It was a lot of T's in there, and of course it is Tuesday tea as well. I had to get that in my first sentence as well. I told Yo-Yo, because he was sick last week, so I said to him, are you better? Because if you're not, you don't need to be here and get everybody sick.
Right.
And he gave me his famous Yo-Yo smile. Look at that big smile with the thumbs up. He says, does this look like a man who's sick?
Trust me, I would not have been here if I was still sick. Y'all don't want me here when I'm sick.
All right. And you are back in Miami, correct, Vanessa? Is that where you have traveled?
I am. Palm trees right outside.
All right. Let's say hello to the squad. Jessica Leamy, Joelle Davis, squad up, my loves. Vitalis Asuugu, squad up. How are you, Stargirl? Ma Dukes, Carol the Tiger, squad up. Christy Consali, Marcia McCullough. Not a lot of comments on Facebook yet. Let's check out YouTube. Jessica Leamy, double fisting. Earth Angel Pert, squad up. Carol, double fisting as well. Janice Williams, season changes. Susie Q, how are you? Ja Love, Denise Johnson, Tali. How are you, Tali? Bobby Young with a pre-schmooze question. Squad up. Now that I'm a United States citizen, can I file for my little brother and sister to come here? And if yes, how? It's called an I-130 visa petition, but they will take a very long time to get here, maybe 12, 14 years. And K, God blessing, squad up as well. Al Volkov. We'll do two pre-schmooze questions of the day. Why not? Can I get an EB3 visa while an asylum applicant? You're asking if you can get sponsored. I assume there's an E3 visa, which is for Australians, but I don't think you really get asylum from Australia these days. It's a pretty liberal country going on there, not a lot of violence. So I assume you're talking about an EB3. An EB3 visa would be a skilled worker petition for a green card. Yeah, possible. It's possible. We got to figure out if you're eligible to adjust your status or if you can go to a third country. But certainly possible. All right, Vanessa and Yo-Yo, take it away.
All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It's time to share with all your friends and family on all social media platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. Talking headlines, including today's announcement by the Biden administration that U.S. immigration authorities will no longer carry out mass arrests of unauthorized immigrants at work sites.
And it's Tuesday tea time with Brad sipping on celebrity headlines, including pop star Demi Lovato's strong feelings on the use of the word alien, not just for people, but for extraterrestrials.
And of course, you can always call Spar and Bernstein at 1-800-529-5465. That is the telephone number scrolling at the bottom of your screen for the entire show. It's also the number that this guy here with the big sign is running across the screen has. And it is not only the number to call to get on our show, and if you call right now, hint, hint, you will get on because we do have open lines, but generally speaking, once we end our schmooze, all the lines are locked. It is also the telephone number to call to schedule a consultation with us at Spar and Bernstein, our sponsors, of which I am the president of the company as well. 1-800-529-5465. International, it's +1 212-227-8933. And after we schmooze, after I take your telephone calls, after Yo-Yo and Vanessa scours the Facebook and YouTube comments for the best issues, problems, and questions of the day, we will be speaking with musical theater composer Jaime Lozano. He released his album Songs by an Immigrant in conjunction with last year's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, which we are still in the midst of celebrating right now. And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Jaime about his album coming to the United States from Mexico and what it's like to be heralded as the next best thing on Broadway by none other than Hamilton's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel Miranda says he's the next best thing.
Uh-oh.
That's like the best thing saying you're the next best thing.
Right.
You know,
he's like killing it.
That's like Oreo cookie saying you're the next best cookie coming down the pipe.
So you're saying that Oreo cookie is the best cookie?
It is the best cookie, right?
Even double stuff.
Right,
Double stuff.
right.
Ooh,
I
double
mean,
stuff.
wouldn't you say that? It's like Oreo saying you're the next best cookie down the line.
Yeah, it's actually kind of true.
Yeah.
It's true. I give it to you.
All right, thank you very much. Just my opinion. I just say it.
I just wanted to,
I just say it as it pops in my head. All right. Well, I can tell you is, a lot of this is extemporaneous. I'm sure a psychologist who watches this whole show would have a field day with me.
Yeah.
Right. But so these are all the things that go through your head that you think about. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
This is it.
That is it. All right, let's get to schmoozing. All right, well, the Biden administration came out today and said they are no longer going to be doing any Worksite raids for unauthorized immigrants. So if you are an undocumented or unauthorized immigrant working in the United States, you can now feel safe going to work. In a memo, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said the Department of Homeland Security should be prioritizing combating illegal acts committed by unscrupulous employers, whom he noted often pay workers substandard wages, subject them to unsafe working conditions, and facilitate human trafficking. Our worksite enforcement efforts can have a significant impact on the well-being of individuals and the fairness of the labor market. Our accomplishments in this area make clear that we can maximize the impact of our efforts by focusing on unscrupulous employers. Now, you may remember the Trump administration, they were the polar opposite. In the summer of 2019, the Trump administration carried out the largest single state immigration enforcement in United States history, arresting nearly 700 undocumented food processing plant workers in Mississippi. These were the people who are processing meats and things of that nature. All of them just hardworking people doing jobs Americans didn't want to do. They're the ones who are in substandard working conditions sometimes. They're the ones who are getting underpaid what an American would get paid, even if an American would want the job, which they wouldn't. And they're the ones who ultimately got arrested, put in jail, and ultimately deported without any, as far as we're aware, penalties by the employer. It's the U.S. employer, if you really want to think about it. It is the United States employer, it's the U.S. corporations, it's individual people who, in their mom and pops and in their homes, that cause, ultimately, the immigration issues that we face today. They are offering jobs to people at lower wages, and people see jobs, and those lower wage jobs are still better jobs than what they can get in their home country. So as a result, they'll figure out a way to get here, whether it's get a visa and overstay, run across the border, get put in the trunk of a car, come across from Canada. I've seen it all. Okay, I've seen every scenario. Jump out of a plane over Nebraska. I've never actually seen that happen. But,
I was about to say.
but I assume now that I threw it out there that somebody
I'm sure.
could parachute out of a plane over Nebraska. What do I know? So, but the point is that it's a U.S. employer. If those jobs were not offered,
It's very true.
if those jobs were not offered and there were no jobs here, you wouldn't have the issues that we have. Or if the U.S. government got their act together and was able to have a sane immigration programs where they can match people to jobs and have them paid normal wages, real wages, have real working conditions, and have the ability to leave and come, and then take your income that you earn and perhaps even your Social Security that you paid into the U.S. government. You know, people pay into Social Security, but if you leave the country, you can't get it legally. You know, people get around it sometimes, but legally you can't get it. You know, so maybe have a way to collect your Social Security. You paid into it, you know, and then leave at the end. You know, especially people on work visas, they're paying into Social Security. They never see that money back.
Right.
So the point is that employers are the ones, U.S. companies, and a lot of times, you hear people say, we don't want immigrants. They do want. They just don't want to pay real wages. A lot of people make a lot of money on the status quo. They do.
That makes sense.
They do. Now, today's memo is part of the Biden administration's efforts to narrow who can be detained and deported by ICE. Deportation agents have already been directed to refrain from arresting pregnant or nursing women, victims of serious crimes, and undocumented immigrants who don't have serious criminal records. They have now added to this, anybody working in an employment area is now going to be off limits. Basically, you got to commit a crime now. Got to be arrested on a criminal activity or be stopped at the border or near a border to come across immigration. So, I mean, if you've been here for years and you're minding your own business and you're working, immigration's not coming for you. Mm-hmm. That's basically what the Biden administration is saying. Now, for all the good that the Biden administration does, we also have an issue still at the border with the Haitians. On Thursday, last Thursday, Senator Bob Menendez, along with 15 other senators, sent a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas and Secretary of State Antony Blinken, denouncing the United States treatment of the Haitian migrants. The senator called on the Biden administration to appoint a new special envoy for Haiti. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senators Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all signed on to the letter. The Biden administration has faced increased scrutiny last month over the treatment of the thousands of Haitian migrants who have gathered at the Del Rio, Texas border. Many Haitian migrants who arrived at the U.S. border were fleeing extreme poverty, disaster, political unrest. They're, Haiti. It's no surprise to anybody because we see it in the news every day. Haiti's experiencing probably their worst political instability following the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse and an earthquake earlier this year that killed 2,200 people, plus all of the poverty and social unrest that was and criminal activity that's going around there, that's been happening beforehand. You understand why people
it makes sense.
don't want to be there.
Right.
Now, senior U.S. Department of State official Harold Koh, he resigned, sending a scathing internal memo condemning the Biden administration's continued use of an illegal Trump-era public health authority to arrest the Haitians, put them on a plane, and send them back to Haiti.
He was like, I did not sign up for that.
The senators wrote in the letter, over the course of our lifetime, our Haitian brothers and sisters have endured dictatorships, constitutional crisis, food insecurity, pandemics, natural disasters, forced displacement, the assassination of their president, and the criminal takeover of their communities. Their resilience is unparalleled. Ensuring the integrity of U.S. borders is also of utmost importance and is not incompatible with the fundamental duty to respect the dignity, humanity, and rights of all individuals. And you want to know what? If we had to stand for anything here on Bradshaw Live, probably we stand for that.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't think, I agree with that. It's not incompatible. This is the problem. It's black or white. We got to stop everyone at the border or everybody comes in, and it's a free-for-all, open borders, and that's what you see on the news, and you see the Republicans and Democrats fighting back and forth. But the reality is, you can have a secure border and also totally respect the dignity of every human being that comes to our country. And that seems to be where the problem lies. It's not hard to do. To be fair, humane to somebody.
It really isn't hard.
Okay,
like,
it's not fair.
It should feel good to help.
It's not fair to be humane and fair to somebody and also have security at a border.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like they're coming in with tanks and we need guns to point at them. I mean, they're coming in with
their hands up
in the air,
please,
tattered shoes, ripped shirts.
Right.
Please help me.
Begging, like.
You know, I mean, we militarized this border like they're showing up with a tank in the middle of it's World War III.
Like they literally have their kids in their hands. Like, you know, they are not trying to come with any type of violence or any type of issues. They literally just want the help. Like, if you're putting your family at risk.
I mean, we saw the pictures with the guns, with the jeeps, recently with the horses.
Right.
Remember that picture?
Yeah, very slave-like.
Yeah.
Right.
That was not the most.
There's a very humane thing we can be doing. But, you know, we go back to, you know, some people just like the status quo.
Yeah.
Meaning that, you know, we get cheap labor, and when it doesn't serve our purpose, we can
That's it.
pick people up,
It's sad.
send them home.
It's sad.
It's very sad. Very, very sad. So, I mean, if you want to think about it like that, it's true.
Yeah.
Because
And really just disappointing,
I
frankly.
mean, why are all those Haitians there at the border? Because there's a job across the fence.
Right.
There's a job waiting for them across the fence. There's somebody who will pay them a very low wage to do work for them here in America. And they know that because there's no job in Haiti for them, that's for sure.
Right.
Because if there was jobs in Haiti that paid well, they wouldn't be leaving, presumably.
I mean,
listen, maybe Haiti's maybe not Haiti because it's a dangerous place. Okay, but as a general proposition, right? So maybe not Haiti. So that's not a bad example. But as a general proposition, it's because there's jobs here.
That's it.
There's jobs here.
Majority of people, at least immigrants that I know, all my families are immigrants. So majority of them, if not all of them, want to retire and go back home. If the jobs were back home where they're from, they would obviously want to stay there. Like that is their home.
So when you have a situation with Donald Trump, that there's corporations, meatpacking facilities, whatever you want to call it, they say, come work here, get here, you can work here. Okay, we'll pay you. You're undocumented or not, we need the processing and the food plants. There's no Americans doing this work.
Right.
Okay, it's the same in the fields and the farms. Okay, who's picking the apples? Who's doing the farm work?
Yeah.
Okay, so the jobs are there because Americans don't want them, or these companies don't want to pay a wage to entice an American to go do that work. Mm-hmm. They pay a low wage. People come because it's a better job than what they got back home.
Right.
And then who gets punished for all of this? The person who's working, not the company that's offering them the job.
Right, which is so unfair.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on Friday, President Biden became the first United States president to issue a proclamation commemorating Indigenous Peoples Day in lieu of Columbus Day, or in addition to Columbus Day. It is a big controversy, Columbus Day. But in the proclamation, it was just yesterday, Biden wrote in the proclamation, the contributions that Indigenous peoples have made throughout the history in public service, entrepreneurship, scholarship, the arts, and countless other fields are integral to our nation, our culture, our society. Today we acknowledge the significant sacrifices made by Native peoples in this country and recognize their many ongoing contributions to our nation. Now, Biden also marked a change, of course, from previous administrations in this proclamation marking Columbus Day, which honors Christopher Columbus, the man who is credited with discovering America, although America was discovered well before Christopher Columbus, who was the man who discovered America for the Spaniards and Europeans,
Right.
but it was well discovered before. But but in that proclamation, the president acknowledged the death and destruction wrought on native communities after Christopher Columbus journeyed to North America in the late 1500s, ushering in European exploration of the Western Hemisphere. Now, more than 100 cities, including Seattle, Los Angeles, Denver, Phoenix, San Francisco, Minnesota, and states, including Minnesota, Alaska, Vermont, and Oregon, have replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, choosing instead to recognize the native populations that were displaced and decimated after Christopher Columbus and other European explorers reached the continent. Now, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki told reporters that Friday's announcement didn't end Columbus Day as a federal holiday. It is still a federal holiday, but obviously there is much controversy over Columbus Day. It started in 1892 in a combination of recognizing Christopher Columbus and also recognizing Italian-American heritage in the United States. At that time, a lot of Italians who were immigrating to the United States were subject to a lot of harassment and racism. There was a mass lynching that year in 1892 of 11 Italian Americans in New Orleans. I'm sorry, in 1891. And it was this mass lynching in New Orleans of 11 Italian Americans in 1891 that prompted the creation of the holiday so that Italians can be commemorated and celebrated as part of the American community. But obviously they called it Columbus Day,
which makes
not
no sense.
Italian American Day.
Makes no sense.
So I'm all in favor of celebrating Italian heritage.
Absolutely.
I love Italians. I love Italian food. I love Italian pasta. I love Italian pizza. I love the Italian people. I love everything about Italians in Italy. But why the controversy? My opinion, let's just call Columbus Day Italian American Day. Right? Why can't we just call it Italian American Day?
I'm down for Indigenous Day. I mean,
but you can also be Indigenous Day too.
Yeah,
but in other words,
the Italians
Italians
colonized Eritrea, so like I'm not just going to be celebrating them, but I will say Indigenous Day. I definitely will celebrate.
Okay, I don't want to take the holiday away. I just think it should be changed. Change the name so it doesn't offend anybody.
Yeah,
and then we could also celebrate Indigenous people. Why not? Why can't we celebrate everybody?
Since their land was stolen.
Why can't we celebrate everybody?
I feel like it's way past due that there's an Indigenous Day. I mean, at this point, we can keep Columbus Day. Everyone's making up holidays every single day anyway.
There's a holiday for everything. But we should have Indigenous Day. But we should also. Yeah. But I think Columbus Day. I really believe Columbus Day should be changed to Italian American Heritage Day.
It should be changed.
Right.
Period.
Whatever day. But in other words, I don't want people say get rid of Columbus Day. I don't want to get rid of it because Italians are proud people and it's celebrating their heritage. And why shouldn't we be celebrating their heritage?
No, you could still get rid of Columbus Day with keeping the Italian Heritage Day because it's not Columbus Day. That's not what we celebrate when we say Columbus Day. So get rid of Columbus Day and his 3 ships that we learned about in school, but we don't learn about anything else. I'm down with getting rid of it.
I just say change the name.
Yeah.
And Vanessa.
It's still getting rid of
It's
Columbus
not getting
Day.
rid of it. It's just changing the name of the holiday.
The way this calendar is set up in 2021, I say we could really keep all of them. There's National Dog Day. Like there can be anything.
There's National Hot
Columbus
Dog
Day.
There's National Hot Dog Day. There's National Everything Day. You know what we don't have? We don't have National Bradshaw Live Day.
That's our anniversary.
We should have National Bradshaw Live Day on the anniversary of our first show.
So who has to make that official? Is it like the mayor or something?
I don't know. We need to find someone who can make it official. Right. And by the way, Vanessa, we talked about last week the abortion law in Texas was struck down by a federal judge. He said it was illegal, unconstitutional. But we talked about that we didn't believe that people would start having abortions again because this case can be brought into the Court of Appeals and then ultimately into the Supreme Court. And if the Court of Appeals reverses the Texas judge, then whoever does an abortion during this period when it was legal may be on the hook for doing something illegal. So until it's finally settled law, we're not going to see abortions in Texas. And lo and behold, what happened on Friday? But the Fifth Circuit of the United States Court of Appeals struck down that Texas judge's ruling that temporarily blocked Texas from enforcing its ban on abortions, and therefore now abortions are back to being illegal in Texas, at least temporarily.
Oh, man.
And eventually this is going to be all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. But nothing, it may go back and forth, who knows how many times, but until it's finally settled, nobody is going to do an abortion in Texas. It's going to be way too costly if it ultimately is found illegal. It's a dam.
It's disgusting.
And there's now more than 238.4 million cases and more than 4.8 million deaths worldwide from COVID. And today, a New York federal judge issued a ruling that allows religious exemptions to the state's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for medical workers. So that is a temporary ruling. Prior to that ruling, if you were a medical worker in the state of New York, you were mandated to have a vaccine or lose your job. U.S. Northern District Judge David Hurd of Utica granted a preliminary injunction temporarily barring New York State and employers from enforcing the COVID-19 vaccine mandate against medical workers claiming a legitimate religious exemption. So that would be the one exception, at least temporarily, that would allow nurses and other medical personnel to work in a hospital without a vaccine. And last night, Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order prohibiting any entity in Texas from mandating COVID-19 vaccinations for employees or consumers at odds with federal vaccination rules. So that will obviously go to court, and that'll be decided in court. And if it's decided in Texas court, we know how the Texas courts rule. They allow abortions. They do not allow DACA. They do not allow DAPA. So our guess will be they will side with Governor Greg Abbott, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah.
Right? Because whatever ruling we want them to make here on Bradshaw Live, they
It'll
always
probably
do
be
the opposite. What do you think, Vanessa?
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Meanwhile, to our friends in Sydney, Australia, they finally got out of their apartments and homes. Sydney is now reopening after 70% of the New South Wales state population aged 16 and older have been fully vaccinated. So in Australia, Sydney's hairdressers, gyms, cafes, and bars finally opened after more than 100 days of being mandated to be closed. The entire city was closed for more than 100 days.
Wow.
By yesterday, 73% of the target population was fully vaccinated. You know, the whole thing with vaccination, it's not just a issue of, we're protecting you. You're also protecting other people, too, from getting sick. So it's a social, what is the word I'm looking for? I guess it's a social, you're doing something to help society also, not just yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
By getting a vaccination. All right, I need some tea. It's tea time. Do we have any new tea, or is it the same tea, Jeremy? Jeremy looks a little shaky today.
Right.
Are you drunk? Jeremy, are you drunk?
Pomegranate.
Jeremy's shaky today. He opened the door and just stopped and stared at me.
Getting over the weekend.
Don't forget we're live here. You just can't stop. You gotta keep walking.
Let's get this party started.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Good job as always.
The party.
Pomegranate tea. And Vanessa, what do you have today? Anything? Or are you just drinking water?
Not that delicious pie I had with you guys last week.
What did we have last week? I don't remember. We had chai, right?
Chai.
Pie tea
Not chai tea. That's tea tea.
We learned that. We learned that. Correct. Somebody in the squad told us that.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
Because we
yes.
learned when you say chai tea, you're saying TT. Just like what Yo-Yo
chai
said.
means
Chai
tea
means tea.
Is it in India? Or
I guess wherever chai comes from, yeah. But we learned you don't say chai tea. It's just
that's
chai.
so American. Look, it's like Taco Bell.
You say, but Bell's is not taco.
No, but Taco Bell is like the American Mexican food. That's not real Mexican food.
Oh, it's not real Mexican food.
Being from Cali,
like,
I know that.
Are not like a real thing. Like chalupas are
Yeah,
not
chalupa,
like a
yeah.
It's like Olive Garden. It's not really
There
Italian.
you go. Just like that. Just like that.
Right?
There you go.
P.F. Chang's is not really Chinese.
Oh, please. Yummy tea. All right, what are we talking about?
All right. What are we talking about? Demi Lovato. She thinks we have to retire the term alien. We've always thought of that too, but we said retire the term alien as it relates to human beings. Demi Lovato's taking it a step further. She wants to retire the term alien when referring to extraterrestrials, people from other worlds. She identifies as non-binary and goes by the pronoun they, and she made the plea. I guess she's not. It's they made the plea.
Yes.
It's they. It's not a she.
It's not a she anymore.
Right. They made the plea. But how is it a they?
That's.
I understand that, but isn't they plural?
That means that
She's
no he, she.
No he, she. They.
They.
But they is plural. That means you're two. No? Or am I
It can be both.
You could be both.
Maybe. I don't know. But that's they.
Okay. Demi Lovato.
That's them.
They made the plea because it's they. It's not a she anymore. They.
Yes.
They made the plea during the interview with Australian outlet pedestrian.tv, in which they say the term alien is offensive to aliens because they're from outer space and we don't know. Alien sounds like they're mean people. They could be cute ETs, and therefore we should just call them as unidentified. Just unidentified. Where they are from. Now, while talking shop on the project, they said that this day throws me off. They said this. I got to get used to it.
You got to get used to it.
Yeah, they said this. I really think that if there was anything out there that would want to do harm to us, it would have happened by now. But I think that we have to stop calling them aliens because aliens is a derogatory term for anything. That's why I like to call them ETs. So yeah. That's a little tidbit, a little information that I learned. So Demi Lovato believes we're insulting people from other universes by calling them aliens. What do you think? I'll leave the first word up to Vanessa.
I feel like is it okay to use the term extraterrestrials?
Yes.
That's okay.
That is okay. Extraterrestrial is okay, but don't call them an alien.
Unidentified, that's kind of like throwing them into a whole, like, we don't know you category as well. That could be negative. Unidentified. And they are identified.
When you call by the way, when you call somebody extra, aren't you saying, boy, you are extra?
So that's what I'm saying.
You know, like you could be calling somebody, that could be a little negative too.
Yes. I don't think
right?
that
like,
aliens...
You know, like if I told you every day, Vanessa, that you're so extra. That's not a nice thing.
Not a nice thing.
Not a nice thing to say, right?
I wouldn't like to hear that.
Yeah. I think I'm extraordinary. I'm extraordinary.
There you go.
There you go. So I don't even know if she has a point.
I don't think so. Like,
is there a point? That's what I'm trying to get from this whole thing. Does they have a point?
No.
Where'd they even come up with
do they have a point?
Unless no, yes, there we go. Thank you.
All right, I did not ask Julian the TriCaster guy, but Julian the TriCaster guy has given the final answer. He said, "Final answer, Regis, no point." There you go. All right, and our friend Nick Cannon.
Oh, God.
He's going to be trying out to go a little abstinent. You think he's going to be able to do this? I mean, did he just have 4 kids in the last 3 weeks or something?
He had 3.
I mean, how many kids did he have? I think he had 4 this year, right?
I think it was 3.
How many kids did he have,
a set
Julie?
of twins and a baby.
4 or 3?
I
said a twin. 4 kids in 1 year, right?
So he has 7 total.
Yeah. How is he gonna? Guy who has 4 kids in 1 year. You think? All right. Right now, Vanessa. 3 different women, 4 kids. That was what it was.
That's what it was.
Vanessa.
Yeah. Yes, Brad.
$10 right now. Will Nick? I'll let you pick. All right, I'll make the bet on the other side. $10. Will Nick Cannon make it through New Year's Eve? Because New Year's Eve is still this year. Will he make it through New Year's Eve into January 1st, celibate? It's 2.5. I mean, it's only 2.5 months. But to Nick Cannon, that's like a lifetime.
But are you kidding? It's like cuddle season is coming up. It's the
Right.
holidays. I don't know.
You know that Mariah Carey song starts coming on, right?
You gotta drop off some gifts. You gotta drop off your baby mama gifts.
Yeah, I mean, you show up in a little Santa hat, you know, come on. You're all looking cute in your Santa outfit.
The problem is he doesn't like to put on the Santa hat where it really matters. Look, that's his issue.
Right, yeah, actually, Jill just said he was married. It was true. He was married to Mariah Carey, so that song's not helping the cat.
Right.
We'll find a different.
I thought that's why you said that.
No, I didn't realize. I always, that's my favorite. The Mariah Carey Christmas song is my favorite.
Oh yeah,
my favorite Christmas
mine
song.
too. But yeah, he's definitely married to her. He's the one who gave her the only kids she has.
Well, of course it would be him.
Right. It's just passing it around.
I mean, he just looks at somebody and they get pregnant. I mean,
low key.
I mean, I'm serious.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
So I'm taking the bet right now. What do you want to bet? Which side, Vanessa? Are you a betting woman? What?
He's not gonna make it.
He's not going to make it. All right, so $10. Vanessa says he's not making it. I have $10 that says he makes it. I have faith in the man.
Yeah, let's do
Right?
that. Let's have faith in
Okay,
him.
I have faith in the man. He says he can do it. He can do it. All right, and
Maybe he'll take a little holiday break.
you're probably right. I think I'm out $10, but I'm gonna say I got faith in him, and we'll be scouring the news and
Let's find out.
We'll see if it actually happens. By the way, Wendy Williams' season 13 premiere has just been moved once again due to her health, and the show was previously set to premiere October 4th. The original date was on the 20th of September. And it's been revealed that the 57-year-old talk show host did come down with COVID in September, and in the same month was transported to Beth Israel Hospital for mental health check. And there's been some speculation that if Wendy Williams does not return, she will address her health issues on air. Page 6 of the New York Post previously reported that her season 13 debut show was scheduled to have no guests and just feature Wendy Williams. Now, sources also say that Nick Cannon may be taking over for Wendy Williams if she's not able to come back due to her health issues. A source close to the show told Page 6 that the executives have been talking. They're keeping a close eye on Wendy Williams' recovery and hoping for the best, but they have pushed back her show premiere several times, so they're already thinking of a backup plan, and it looks like the backup plan is Nick Cannon. And we were just talking about this off air, Vanessa, Jonathan, right before we got on air. And he was just saying, you know, there's just some people, right? Just people, they just love, you know, Nick Cannon. Who are you saying?
Say Will Smith.
Will Smith. People just love Will
Queen
Smith.
Latifah.
Right.
Like, and this is worldwide. I'm not just talking about here in the States.
Right.
Like, they make money worldwide. People actually support them. And Nick Cannon's just one of them. That's why literally he's like a Steve Harvey. He has his toes in every single, you know, avenue. He has a radio show, now a talk show.
And apparently he has more than toes in different areas. Of course, I mean, he just had 4 kids in 1 year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
I've got to make that clear, you know?
I see it happening. He's, you know, he won't be a Wendy Williams because there's only one Wendy Williams, you know, but I could definitely see, you know, just like a Cardi B, once you have money and the right people behind you, you can make it, and he has the right people behind him that are going to be pushing his show. So,
Agreed.
I'm just having my tea. Meanwhile, maybe you guys millennials are too young to appreciate the Beatles. Do you like the Beatles or no?
Yeah.
You like the Beatles?
I love the Beatles.
You do, really? I did not expect that, Vanessa. I thought you
Legendary.
They are legendary.
I thought you'd be like, who? Who? Beatles? I didn't.
Not my boy Paul McCartney. What?
Okay.
Paul?
John Lennon?
So for, when they broke up the Beatles in 1970, it's been about 50 years ago. For 50 years, the person who was attributed with the breakup was Paul McCartney. And it has now come out in an upcoming interview on BBC Radio. He told journalist John Wilson that it was not him who broke up the Beatles. It was John Lennon. He walked into the room one day, John Lennon, and he said, "I'm leaving the Beatles." I wish I could do a British accent, but I can't. And he said, "It's quite thrilling. It's like a divorce." And then he kind of left, and we were just there to pick up the pieces.
Wow.
Now, while Wilson highlighted that Paul McCartney was the one to sue his bandmates to end the business partnership, he was also blamed for the band's breakup. And Paul McCartney said he was extraordinarily frustrated that the press and the general public thought it was him who broke up the Beatles. He said McCartney said Lennon's decision to leave the band was driven by his pursuit of social justice, including movements such as bagism, where he would just wear bag for clothes. He would not wear clothes, he would just wear bag. And he and his wife Yoko Ono would urge people just to put a bag over their body. And Lennon also wanted to hold bed-ins for peace in Amsterdam and Montreal, whereby people just lay in a hotel room in a bed for weeks in protest of war, and they just have bed-ins. And Paul McCartney, he said to John Lennon, the point of it really was that if John Lennon was making a new life with Yoko Ono and he wanted to go, live in a bag and he wanted to lie in a bed for a week in Amsterdam for peace, I mean, we weren't going to argue with him.
Right.
And that's why the band broke up. And it's sad because some of their best work was right at the end. Let It Be.
Right.
Abbey Road. That's not some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Right at the end. There's actually a really good documentary. I can't remember on what platform it's on, but it's all about when they separate and they go into the whole relationship, just them two, and how he develops on his own. And it's really, really it's really very interesting.
I want a really dope biopic of him.
I wish they stayed together. I wonder what it would have been like if they stayed together through the 70s.
Right.
How much more amazing music.
I'm sure a lot.
Paul McCartney did some good work with Wings. John Lennon did, good work on his own.
Yeah.
But imagine if they stayed together.
I think that would have created, they on their own, the time they were together, they created such an impact in culture in music, but that would have really turned things around.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this full interview is scheduled to be broadcast on BBC on October 23rd. That was just a quick preview. And by the way, that was our tea for the day.
Hey.
Cheers,
thanks.
everybody.
Cheers.
All right, so in today's Education, I explained how long you can stay in the United States with an ESTA visa and what happens if you marry a green card holder or a United States citizen while visiting on an ESTA. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Immigration for Education. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. U.S. immigration law is complex and the regulations are constantly changing. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system. Know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. Now, there are 39 countries enrolled in the United States Visa Waiver Program that allows citizens of those countries to travel to the United States for tourism and stay for 90 days without a visa with an ESTA, which is the digital travel authorization to the USA you obtain online. How long could I stay in the United States with an ESTA? Well, the ESTA is not a Live in America visa. It is not a Work in America visa. You have to leave the United States after 90 days. There are no extensions or change of status to the ESTA program. But what if I'm coming to get married? Well, if you're coming to get married as a foreign couple and you want to have this really special wedding in America, then that's okay. But if you are coming to marry a permanent resident or a United States citizen, that is not okay. That would be a misrepresentation. Because entering the United States on an ESTA, whether you say something or not at the airport, it is implied you are a tourist. It is not a fiancé visa or a marriage visa. So if you were to marry a United States citizen or permanent resident while on the ESTA, the government would call you a liar. You said you were visiting, and then you are marrying a United States citizen or resident, which is not allowed on the ESTA. It is a blatant misrepresentation. So what if I make a misrepresentation? Big deal. Big deal? You can be barred from entering the United States for the rest of your life. Whether you marry a green card holder or you marry a United States citizen to get your permanent residence, or you even want to come back on a non-immigrant tourist visa or a student visa, you will be barred. And there are very few exceptions in which you can get a waiver. By the way, if you're so inclined, and you're a fan of OnlyFans, you can check me out, fully clothed on OnlyFans, all of our Braducations, by following Bradshaw Live on OnlyFans. I could be the only fully clothed attorney on the entire site. Perhaps. All right, you ready to get your immigration questions answered? All right, Simone in Queens, how are you? Simone in Queens. Simone in Queens. Listen to the actual phone, not the broadcast. All right, so we're going to put you on hold. We're going to put you, Simone, on hold. I don't know who she's talking to, but everybody who is watching right now and on hold, don't listen to the broadcast, because the broadcast is about a 30-second delay. Because we never know what Yo-Yo will say. No, that's not why. It's because that's the way Facebook and YouTube do it. All right, let's go to Manuel in Orlando, Florida.
Hey, Brad. How are
you?
Very good.
What's your question, Manuel?
So, I have a family member, actually, my brother. He was deported, and he got married back in our country.
Why was he deported?
Just an order of deportation from an asylum denial.
Okay. And and where is he from?
Colombia.
And he's back in Colombia now?
No, so the whole process is a long story. So he got back to Colombia. He had a girlfriend. His girlfriend went to Colombia.
Whoa. He got deported back to Colombia. Okay, now he's in
Colombia.
Was back. Okay, his girlfriend.
This was back in 2008.
Okay. His girlfriend, who was a U.S. citizen, went and married him?
Correct.
Okay, and then what happened?
They put in a I-130, which he was approved back in 2010.
Right.
So, during that time, after all the I-130 got approved, he put in the waiver to come back into the U.S. That did not get approved until 2014, when he was able to finally finalize everything, was able to come back here into the United States.
So he returned with a green card?
Correct.
Okay, so what is the question?
So during that time, his relationship with his...
Stop. You're giving me an entire history. Tell me the question and I'll go back. Because so far we've been talking for 5 minutes. All you had to say was, I know a guy who got deported, got married, came back with a waiver with a green card. That could have been all said in one sentence. What is your question?
So my question is, when he got back, he found out that the girl that he had married had done the divorce before he entered the country. He wants to do his citizenship now.
That's
but he
a
wants
problem. That's a problem because she was divorced from him before he entered the United States. and therefore
Okay.
when he entered the United States, the actual basis for him entering, which is to be in a bona fide marriage with his spouse, didn't exist. That marriage didn't exist. So
Even though you got I-130 was approved?
Even though the I-130 was approved, the marriage itself did not exist. The wife divorced him behind his back. The wife was extraordinarily nasty to have done such a thing, or mean to have done such a thing, but that's what she did. And this guy comes to America, finally gets through with his green card, and finds out years later he's divorced. The basis of him getting the green card is to be reunited with a wife in a bona fide marriage. That marriage didn't exist when he came into America. So if he goes to do his naturalization and it's determined that he was divorced before he entered the United States of America, now immigration could say, well, the basis of you having a green card doesn't exist. You know, he may not be charged with fraud unless they're going to say he knew he was divorced. I assume he's going to be able to show he didn't know he was divorced. So it's not a fraud. So it's not a fraud, but the basis for him to have obtained his green card, that basis doesn't exist. So now you have a divorce, and a woman divorced him behind his back. What the law says in all 50 states is that you have to be given notice of a divorce. Okay? Someone has to physically hand the divorce certificate to you and serve you personally. Now, if he was divorced while he's in Colombia, then there has to be a notice of service signed by somebody that they flew to Colombia, they handed him the divorce certificate, and then notarized that affidavit of service. Or she mailed an the divorce to somebody in Colombia who served him, and then went to the U.S. Embassy and signed the affidavit of service. My guess is
that never happened.
That never happened. And if she divorced him behind his back, she wouldn't go to that length. She would just have somebody sign an affidavit of service in America. I served him, end of story. So now, I don't know what state this happened in, but he now has to hire a very good local family lawyer and go to court and vacate that divorce. Vacate means I want to reopen that divorce because it was an illegal divorce. Why is it an illegal divorce? It's an illegal divorce because I was never served. I was never given notice. Had I been given notice, I would have contested this divorce. And so, and how do you prove that you were never given notice? Well, there's an affidavit of service that says, in the file, that says I was served on 1 Main Street in Miami, Florida, and at that point I was in Colombia. How could I have been served? It's impossible. All right, and then, you know, it's not as if he wants to be married to her again. He just wants to tell the judge, I want to reopen it, and I want you to re-sign the divorce for 2020 or 2020. I mean, we're now 2021. Re-sign the divorce as of 2021. I want to be divorced too, but I want it done the right way. Now, if it gets vacated and the family court lawyer does his or her job and reopens the case, and then the divorce is re-signed again for 2021 instead of 2010 or 2011, well, now he entered the United States. He had a green card, came to a bona fide marriage, and got divorced 8 years later. Now it's not a problem.
Okay.
That's the solution.
That's the solution. Okay, and then after that, he'd be able to
file for his citizenship.
His paper for his citizenship.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
All right.
All right. Good luck.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go back to Simone in Queens.
Hi.
Hi.
Brad.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Okay, I just have a question that I need to ask you.
Sure.
I'll be putting in an adjustment of status application pretty soon. So apart from the I-130 and the I-485, I wanted to know which other forms I need to put in.
Well, you need an I-130, an I-45, an I-130A. You need an I-864 affidavit of support. If your spouse doesn't earn enough money... No,
it's my daughter.
Okay, if your daughter doesn't earn enough money, you would need a second affidavit of support. So it depends on what her income is. So either one I-864 or two.
Depending on her income.
Depending on her income. If your daughter lives with other people in her household, so it would be an I-864 and an I-864A, because the people in the household would sign the I-864A, not a new I-864, because it's the household that's giving the affidavit of support. So maybe she lives with other people too. Maybe she's married. I don't know. So,
No, she's single.
okay. So, and then you want a work permit. So you're going to file an I-765. And everybody always asks the question, because, you know, what is the section of law do I fill in on the I-765? Because you can pick like 50 different sections of law, and you're gonna check what you're gonna sign in C9. That is the basis for getting a work permit on adjustments on the I-765. You're gonna say C9, and then finally you're gonna want to file an I-131, which is a travel document advance parole.
131.
And you're gonna
Okay.
and you're gonna pay $1,760.
1,760. Okay, so let me just repeat. You said the I-130, I-131, I-485, I-130A, I-864.
You don't need the I-130A because I thought it was a spouse. You don't need it.
Oh, okay. And I-765. And it will cost 1,760.
Correct.
Okay, do I need to put in all the documents all at once,
Yes.
or wait until...
No, everything at one time, or it'll be bounced back.
Okay. And lastly, Brad, do I need a lawyer for this?
You're asking a lawyer if you need a lawyer. And my answer is, if you ask a lawyer if you need a lawyer, that means
I know you're going to say yes.
But that also means that your inner self is saying, I think I need a lawyer. Because otherwise you wouldn't be even asking that. You're like, I got this. All right. So your inner self already knows you need a lawyer. So you've answered your question, and I've answered your question. So hold on. All right. Christian in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, hi. Good evening, Brian.
Hi, how are you?
So I have a question. I filed about 2 years ago, and I recently received a C31 EID, but I didn't file for it like at all. So I was wondering, what does this mean?
It means your VAWA was approved, because you only get a work permit under C31 when you have an approved VAWA.
Okay, but even though if I didn't apply for it or anything like that,
obviously you did. It doesn't happen by magic. So, whoever filed it for you obviously did.
Oh, okay, yes, because it was like out of the blue, and I wasn't sure what it meant.
Right.
I have another question too. So, in this case, like the bar was approved and everything, and I have a asylum case too pending. Would it be wise to apply for a travel permit or not really?
Well, you have a pending adjustment. You can apply for a travel permit. Just don't travel back to the country that you claimed asylum.
Okay.
All right. But you can travel anywhere else.
Okay, yeah. Sounds perfect. Thank you.
Right. Okay, good luck. Let's go to Azam in Brooklyn. Azam, how are you? Azam. Okay, Azam. She filed a waiver and get who to write what?
I think they said she filed a waiver because when she came to this country, she got married, and maybe later on, after 2 years, green card, she wants to renew for 10 years. They got to know that she got married in Nigeria and she didn't divorce or something like that. So she got a lawyer, and maybe they said that they're going to file a waiver and refile for her and something like that.
Okay, so this is what I hear. This woman got a 2-year green card, and she was married in Nigeria and either had a messed up divorce in Nigeria that wasn't legal or no divorce in Nigeria. She married the man here, got her green card. She's a bigamist. She's not entitled to her green card. So she has to do a divorce from the man in Nigeria here in America, get that divorce done, refile again, and now you're going to refile an adjustment based on a bona fide marriage. You would need a waiver if she knew she was doing something wrong. fraud is a knowing misrepresentation. So a knowing material misrepresentation, certainly material if she was married in Nigeria. Did she know this divorce was no good, or she had no idea? But she certainly was not legal to be married. She certainly needs to divorce in America, remarry the man in America, divorce the man in Nigeria, remarry the man in America. The divorce happens in America. Don't do a Nigerian divorce. They never believe them. You divorce the Nigerian husband in America and then remarry your American husband in America and refile a new adjustment. You may need a waiver.
Yeah, but one thing is that she didn't really get married in Nigeria. I think the person that did the visa for her, they just put her like marry somebody for her to get a visa.
So then, all right, so then she made a misrepresentation. And,
yeah.
Okay. And she has to first prove there is no marriage in Nigeria. Because right now, if the government knows about this marriage, then they're gonna say that she's a bigamist. So she has to go and she has to go do a search.
Yeah,
you have to do a search in Nigeria and prove that there's no marriage certificate anywhere in Nigeria that says she's married to anybody.
Yeah, she tried to do all that, but the lawyer that she gets, I think they told her they're going to refile again for her.
All right, so you don't hear anything I'm saying. You now need a consultation. Hold on, I'm not interested in what the lawyer said.
Yeah,
what the lawyer said doesn't matter to me. I just told you what to do. And then you say, but the lawyer. And when you say, but the lawyer, that means, you know what? Let's have a consultation. Hold on. All right, I'm not interested in what the lawyer said. Shan in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
My question, I'm doing well, thanks. My question is, I got my green card through VAWA. I have a 10-year green card.
Right.
However, I'm divorced from my ex-husband, and I'm now remarried. What I want to know is how soon can I do my citizenship?
When did you get your green card?
Last year.
And it was through VAWA, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And he was married to a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
Okay, so 90 days before the 3-year anniversary of you having a green card.
Okay, perfect.
All
Thank
right?
you.
You're very welcome. Good luck. Let's go to Kubir in Macedonia, Ohio. Hi, Kubir.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, I'm great.
Good.
I got a question, sir. I filed my VAWA in 2018. It's been 3 years, and I didn't get any answer from them. So I went to congressman. They put a congressional inquiry on it, and last week they told me like I'm under a security check. So what do you think? Like they can do the VAWA under security check too? Usually they do the 485 for security check, right?
Well, they can do a security check under VAWA at any time they want. But what you've learned is this. You go to your senator, they're not doing anything to help you. All they do is write a letter on your behalf, and all immigration does is write back a letter to them. So you pushed a lot of paperwork, but you got no closer to getting an approval. So you just wasted time and effort. That's how I look at it. It's a waste of time and effort to go to a senator.
Could you help me with it?
Yes, it's called a mandamus. If your case has been pending for more than 3 years and it's an unreasonable amount of time, you either threaten a mandamus or file a mandamus. It's the only way to get a case moving. You have a federal judge order the immigration to do something. Senator can't order anybody to do nothing.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go to Cheryl in Fairfield, California.
Good evening, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. So my brother's currently incarcerated in federal prison in Texas. I'm in California. We did file for asylum because we are from the Philippines. The president wants to kill people like my brother if they enter. He's trying to get rid of drug dealers and drug users.
Okay, but your brother is
currently in deportation proceedings.
For what reason?
For weapons charge and drug use or drug sales.
All right, so the only thing he would be eligible for is a Convention Against Torture case. No one's granting him asylum as an aggravated felon. So he's not going to get it. He's eligible.
He's not going to get asylum.
I just said he's only eligible for Convention Against Torture. He's not eligible for asylum as an aggravated felon. Convention Against Torture is you make an application to the immigration judge that my life is in danger. If I go back to the Philippines, I'm going to be tortured and killed by the government. And you have to prove that. And if you can prove that, they will allow you to remain in the United States, and not deport you. They'll release you. You'll get a work permit every year, but you're never going to get a green card.
Is that the I-589 or no?
That's the asylum. I just told you he's not eligible for it.
Oh, what form is that? Because that's the form that I was told to turn in.
It's not a form. You make an application for Convention Against Torture. You need you don't turn in anything. You better have a good lawyer. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, he's going to need a lawyer.
You better damn right. The man's a drug dealer, and you want him to still stay in America? And you think you just fill out a form and he gets to live here? You're in fantasy land. Hold on. Abdul in New Britain, Connecticut.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I have a I-130 for a spouse case, and it's been processing in the Potomac Center since May 21st, 2020. And when I check the processing time on USCIS, it says that they are currently working on May 30, 2020. Should I continue to wait or what?
What are you filing for? I missed the first part.
I-130 spouse case.
Okay, so they reached your date.
Yeah, it's beyond. It's been like 10 days after that.
Okay, so that means that somebody's actively looking at your application. I would wait another 4 to 8 weeks. If you still haven't heard anything, give me a call.
Okay, and I'm a U.S. citizen, and my wife is 3 months pregnant.
Where's she?
Yemen.
Yemen. Well, you can try to expedite the case for some humanitarian reason, and hopefully they will, because she's pregnant. Maybe I don't know if she has any complications. I don't know what the medical situation is in Yemen.
It's messed up.
Yeah, so you would need to file a request for a humanitarian expedite.
Through the...
You do it I would do it through a lawyer personally. You can do it with both the USCIS and then when it gets to the National Visa Center.
Okay.
There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that they do it, but I would certainly try.
Copy. Well, let's just say she gives birth in Yemen. Do I need to throw an I-130 again for a child? Or
no, because that child would be an automatic U.S. citizen, because that child's father is a U.S. citizen who's married to the mother, and that father has been living in the United States for at least 1 year as a resident or as a citizen before the child's birth. So your child, what you would do is you would register the birth abroad of your child, who is a U.S. citizen, and get that child a U.S. passport.
Copy. All right. Thank you, Brad.
All right. Good luck.
Bye.
All right. Let's go to Waleed in Moreno Valley, California. Waleed, how are you?
Mr. Broad.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, sir. I had a question.
Yeah.
I'm calling you from California.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is currently in Afghanistan. I applied for USCIS. I filed the form I-130 and I-130A.
Right.
It was approved by USCIS, and then it was sent to National Visa Center. And since you know the situation in Afghanistan is worse, and there is no consular section.
It's a problem. I don't know where she would be processing for a green card right now. I don't know if she can get to a third country. Is it possible to get to a third country or no?
Right now, it is no, because all the borders in Afghanistan is closed. But if she gets to a third country, how long does it take for NVC or National Visa Center to approve the case?
Well, it's months and months, but you would request a humanitarian expedite because of the situation.
Is it for form I-134?
No, you wouldn't fill it out. You would just do it by letter form to the National Visa Center.
Okay, just I should send them a letter that she's in this situation.
Yeah, she's in a situation in Afghanistan. It's very bad. Explain the situation and then say, but she can make it to this country, whatever this country is. Can you please process her for this country on an expedited basis? Because if she makes it there, she can't stay there for too long. But you may also want to have a lawyer to explain it all, but that's basically what you would be doing.
So if she gets to another country and I go over there to the U.S. Embassy, will they offer her a visa sooner?
I would hope so. But you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
All right, nobody's doing
so
anything.
I should transfer to a third country, right?
I would start thinking about a third country to get her there and then trying to expedite it at that third country.
Okay, thank you so much,
All right.
Mr. Brock.
Okay, good
I
luck.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's go to Patrick in Manhattan. Patrick.
Good evening, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, thank you. My question is, I had a 2-year green card before. I should renew last year, but I was in a basic training. So when I came back from a basic training, right now I'm in a U.S. Army. So they told me like I don't need to renew. So they told me to apply straight for a citizenship. So I applied for my citizenship, so it's pending now. So my question is, I want to travel. Like I can travel with my foreign passport, but how to come back if I can come back with my military ID?
I'm confused on your question. You have a green card, so you can travel on your foreign passport and your green card. You don't have to show your military ID.
But that green card is expired. It was 2 years. And I didn't renew. I applied for a citizenship.
Okay, so then you would need to go down to the local immigration office and get a temporary stamp in your passport.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, okay, good luck. All right, let's go to Aja in Long Island.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, so if you're an international student and your mom is trying to file for you, but I have a father back home and he's sick, but they said that I have to wait, like I have to stay in the country.
Why do you have to stay in the country? I don't understand.
Okay, because she's trying to file for me, and they said once you apply for change of status, you can't fly back home.
Well, you can fly back home. You just have to apply for a new visa back home.
You just have to apply for it?
In other words, you applied for a change of status. There's an emergency back home. You're going home. Now you would have to apply wherever home is. You would have to make an application to get an appointment at the U.S. Embassy, which is hard these days. It's not easy. You can't just walk in because of COVID. They're backed up. But you would have to make that appointment and apply for your student visa at another country. You may be home for a few months till you come back, but, you got to see your sick dad. So, those are your choices.
I'm kind of confused because they said...
all right, let me unconfuse you. When you make a change of status, that's still not going to allow you to travel home to go see your dad. You're here on some tourist visa or whatever visa you're on. You're changing your status to a student, and you're waiting.
No. I'm on a student visa now, and I'm trying to change. My mom is trying to file for me.
Your mom is trying to file for you. You filed an adjustment of status then?
Yeah, she's trying.
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So if you filed an adjustment of status, it's completely different than a change of status. Okay. That's like saying I ate an apple and I ate a pizza. It's like not even in the same food group. Okay? So let's be careful what the words we use. So how old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Did your mom file your mom a citizen?
Oh, she's a resident.
Okay. And when did she file for you?
She did I don't know what the thing was. She filed an I.
All right, so I can't. All right, let me tell you something, Aja. All right, you need to have an appointment. All right, because I'm here on a live show. I can't spend 45 minutes with you. All right, and you're like, I'm changing status, adjustment status. You're not sure the terms, and then you're like, I don't know what my mom's doing. So if you don't know what your mom is doing, how can I answer your question and help you? It's impossible. And of course, now she hangs up. All right, William in Dallas.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the good job that you're doing for us.
Thank you. What's going on?
Yeah, I am an asylum seeker, and my case is pending. So now I have been staying in this country for about 4 years. I haven't got call for interview, but I want to travel and
You
to
can't.
go in one of those African countries.
You
Is that
can't.
possible?
No. If you have a pending asylum and you leave, that's it. You're not coming back. You got to wait for your asylum to be approved, and then you can travel on a refugee travel document. But until then, you can't. Now, if your asylum's been pending 4 years, you may, and you have a good case, you may want to think about doing a mandamus or a threat of a mandamus.
Okay.
All right, hold on. You hold on. Azam in Brooklyn.
Hey, Brett, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I have a question about the diversity visa lottery, which is open right now. So on section 14, the marriage status. So if you are married to U.S. citizen or green card holder, and you already filed your I-130, I-485 to immigration, which is pending, can you still apply for this diversity visa lottery or no?
Yes, but why do you need to?
Because the situation is the case ended up going to California Service Center, and on their processing time on the website it says
you're going to wait so much longer for a diversity visa. Finish your marriage case. But the answer is yes. You want to file for a diversity visa, why not? Doesn't hurt you. Nothing bad's happening, but there's no reason to.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
But if you get win this and your case is still pending, can you still change your status through the diversity visa?
Depends what your status was before.
Okay.
Were you out of status? Were you out of status before?
No, because my wife's still not in the U.S., but I applied for
What is your status before you filed your adjustment?
No, I won the green card through this diversity visa, came to the U.S. and got married this year, and applied for my wife,
Where is
which
she?
is out of the country, Tajikistan.
Okay. Oh, so you didn't do an adjustment. What you're asking is you filed your I-130 for your wife. Excuse me, as a permanent resident, has been pending for a while. Yes, let her apply for the visa lottery. It could be faster. You never know.
All right.
All right? I
Yeah,
understand
thank you
the
so
question.
much.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, and by the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. Just drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your question as best as I can. Sometimes it takes me a few days to get back to you. Not as fast as I used to be when I was much younger. My thumbs don't work as fast these days, but I will get back to you eventually. I assure you that. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live. You can't handle 2 hours of this show, but you like 2 minutes of us. Follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live for the best 2 minutes of Brad Show Live every day. And of course, you can follow us on our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok, at Brad Show Live. You can even leave me a question in the comments or question and answer, and you may be lucky enough to get a video response from me on TikTok. But no, I don't dance. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with musical theater composer Jaime Lozano about his journey to the United States from Mexico, forging a career on Broadway, and his album Songs by an Immigrant, whose liner notes were written by Hamilton's Lin-Manuel Miranda and was released in conjunction with Hispanic Heritage Month 2020.
And like we said, TikTok is our fastest growing social media platform that we have. We have almost over 2 million views each week on our videos from our TikTok page. So it is definitely a page that you guys want to check out, because Brad will actually answer some of your questions live with a live video. That's like a celebrity. That's almost, what is it called? Cameo.
It's almost
like Cameo.
It's Bradshaw Live Cameo.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See? So like, you guys make sure you guys follow.
And you don't have to pay me to do it.
Right.
That's
What?
a damn.
That's a big damn.
That's a big damn.
Right. So now we have a new segment, like I said a couple of times already. This is called TikTok Time, and this is where Brad breaks down everything from affidavit of support to fiancé visas to expired green cards. Check it out.
For affidavit of support requirements, your unemployment insurance does count towards income, but that will ultimately end at some point. They're probably going to require a job letter, and if you don't have one, you probably need a second affidavit of support. Good luck. There is no fiancé visa for green card holders, unfortunately. You would have to go to where your fiancé is or a third country, marry her, file an I-130, and she would be in the F2A category, about 2 to 3 year wait. Good luck. Most international students get optional practical training. If they are STEM, it gets for several years. Then they get sponsored in an H-1B and then sponsored in a job. And many fall in love during this process and get married. That's how you stay. You do not need to renew your green card in order to file for your citizenship. Just because your green card expired doesn't mean you're not a lawful permanent resident of the United States. If you don't need your green card to prove you're a resident, just file your citizenship. Good luck. All right, social media check-in.
All right, first one comes from CE User on YouTube. Can a U.S. citizen and tourist visa visitor marry within 90 days of entrance to the U.S. and plan to exit together and then maybe file overseas consulate at a later time, but not immediately? Will there be any issues?
I think that's okay.
King Kawuku on YouTube, my I-485 based on VAWA says my EAC card is being produced. Is that a work permit or my green card?
An EAD is your work permit. An EAC means nothing.
Okay, I'm not sure if this is someone who called, but let me know.
Okay.
I'm at Ahmad on Facebook. I'm living in California, got approval from USCIS for my wife. The case is now
Your
with...
visa lottery. I said yes.
Okay, so okay, that's
All right.
okay. Carlos Pereira on YouTube, is denial work 2 root canals a good reason for advanced parole for a DACA recipient?
Denial for 2 root canals?
Yeah,
getting-
dental, sorry. Is dental work 2 root canals a good reason for advanced parole for a DACA recipient?
Yeah, medical treatments is good.
Zaijanath S on YouTube, is there any update on the eBay backlog situation for workers from China and India?
eBay situation?
EB.
EB.
Oh, EB. I thought eBay. I'm like, what's going on eBay? I don't know
I've not
about.
heard of eBay
No, the backlog is still enormous. Let's hope that there's something in this reconciliation. At least what we're hoping for, at least, is the reason for the backlogs for India and China and some of the other countries, Mexico, Philippines, is that there is a per country limit for any particular number of green cards from any particular country. So if those per country limits get eliminated, then you'll see the backlogs for India and China substantially reduced in Mexico, but other people who have no waiting time will start to see a small backlog.
Sandra Campbell on YouTube. I got my green card, my 10-year green card. My spouse is Jamaican American citizen, and we've been married for 2.5 years. When can I apply for citizenship?
2 years, 9 months, and 3 days from the time you got your conditional green card, or 10-year green card, whatever came first.
10 years.
Felicia Patoki on YouTube, for someone who has been here for 19 years on a visiting visa, do you think he/she should marry or wait for immigration reform?
They should marry.
Amelia H on YouTube. I applied for my daughter's certificate of citizenship. They said it will take until about January. USCIS lost her green card. We have no proof to get her a passport, and her immigrant visa expired. What can I do?
Say it again.
I applied for my daughter's certificate of citizenship, and they said that it'll take until about January. But USCIS lost her green card. We have no proof to get her passport, and her immigrant visa expired.
How did immigration lose her green card? Why would you have mailed your green card to immigration in the first place?
Right.
Then you should be going down to immigration, getting a temporary stamp in her passport to show in her whatever Jamaican passport or Trinidadian or whatever country she's from, temporary I-551 stamp in the passport, and use that as the basis for her having permanent residence and apply for a passport.
Denisha Johnson on YouTube, can I get an H-2B visa with an I-130 petition at the NVC without it affecting the petition when it becomes current?
Most likely no, because an H-2B visa is a non-immigrant intent and I-130 shows your immigrant intent.
And on YouTube, what will happen to family cases I-130 pending a visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Kabul? Will they start working on them, or should they be transferred to another embassy?
If you can transfer them to another embassy, that would be the smartest thing, because I don't know what's happening there. Nobody knows. There's no answers. If you can get it transferred to another embassy and you can get to that embassy, that's the best thing you can do.
Mariah on Facebook, if I am out of status, can I still travel by plane to different states?
As long as you have a valid passport, yes.
Yurosa Sidikwi on YouTube, my I-130 was approved in 2016, but my green card is still pending. Can I withdraw my application?
Your I-130 was approved in 2016, my green card, and you want to withdraw it? You can withdraw it whenever you want. Why?
Cheryl Araro on YouTube, if my mom applied for my naturalization but swore in a month after I turned 18, is it possible that I can be naturalized too?
Only if immigration substantially delayed your mom's naturalization for years.
Elena Menzon on Facebook, I petitioned for my son before I became a green card holder. Now I've changed my status. I'm an American citizen now. Will that affect my son's petition?
Yes, it'll be upgraded to hopefully a faster category.
And last one comes from Anonymous Striker on YouTube. What are the consequences if VAWA is denied?
You got to figure out another way. Either refile or figure out another way to get a green card. But unless you have a criminal record under the Biden administration, nobody's bothering you. There you got it. So musical theater composer Jaime Lozano has been heralded as the next big thing on Broadway by Hamilton's Lin-Manuel Miranda. Jaime joined me to discuss his album, Songs by an Immigrant, which was released October 2nd, 2020, in conjunction with Hispanic Heritage Month, which goes from September 15th to October 15th every year. Jaime explained to me why, as a native of Mexico living and working in America, he strives to combine immigrant stories in his art. Let's watch. Jaime Lozano is a musical theater composer who has been heralded as the next big thing on Broadway by Hamilton's Lin-Manuel Miranda. A native of Monterrey, Mexico, Jaime's album, Songs by an Immigrant, was released in October of 2020 in conjunction with Hispanic Heritage Month. Here to discuss the album, his career, and his own immigration story is Jaime Lozano. Welcome, Jaime, and thanks for coming on Bradshaw Live. I really appreciate it.
No, hola, Brad. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited.
Now, let's start by listening to a piece of one of the songs off of your album, the generic immigrant welcome song.
My children will grow up strangers, sharing a different tongue. And even though you will fear them so much, they'll try hard, climb rung by rung. They'll learn fast because they're young.
That was great. So tell me, what is this Song by an Immigrant album about?
You know, as an immigrant myself, I strongly believe that I have to tell my own stories, the story of my people, the story of my familia, my paisanos, the story of people coming to this country trying to find a better life. So this album is tribute for all these people struggling and working and fighting for that American dream. The album has different songs that I collaborate with different lyricists, with different backgrounds and different performers from all very different music backgrounds.
So every song on the album has a story. What is the story behind the generic immigrant welcome song?
My very own story is the story about getting to this country and not being able to speak the language, and not being able to find the flavor in the food because it doesn't have enough spice. So it's a big struggle just getting to this country and not finding the way to fit. So this song is like a statement saying to the gringos that I'm here to stay.
You had said that you collaborated with a lot of different lyricists. You wrote all the music yourself on this album. Do you tell the lyricist your story and then he puts it to your music? How does that collaboration work?
Musical theater is everything about collaboration. When I arrived to this country in 2007 for the first time, I didn't speak any English at all. At that time, I got selected to get into NYU for a master program. And I have to find a way to communicate myself with others with no English. So I need people with the English language so they can help me to tell my stories. I just give them the idea. We do some research, we interview people. We want to be like a very honest with what we're writing. And then I rewrite the melody, they rewrite the lyrics, till we have something that we think is clear enough to tell this story.
Now, this is being put out as an album, but is this meant also in some future project to be a musical on Broadway or off Broadway?
This is a concept album that every single song is a single story, but they have like a theme altogether that connect the song. It's not really one story from beginning to end. But a lot of people, when they hear the album, that's the question that they have. Oh, this could be a great musical.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote Hamilton, very well known, he wrote the liner notes for your album. And I just want to read it because it was quite a tribute. A mosaic is made up of different materials of slightly different shapes, sizes, colors. Each piece glitters and shines on its own, but taken together, they create a tapestry that is new. Jaime Lozano has made you a hell of a mosaic. And he ends with, if you're an immigrant in the United States, you have to work 10 times as hard just to reach the ground floor. There is the process of leaving your homeland. There is the journey. There is the dislocation of being in a new world, the culture shock of how that world sees you. Jaime honors that journey and breathes astonishing musical life into it on this album. He's done 10 times the work to bring you this mosaic. Enjoy. Wow, that was one heck of an endorsement by who I guess would be at this point, you know, the most well-known and famous composer on Broadway. What does this endorsement mean to you?
To have the honor that he take the time, and obviously he's crazy busy. I mean, like working on 4 or 5 movies at the same time. So that he took like a few minutes to write those liner notes. I mean, it's an honor. And when I read what he wrote for the album, I was like literally like crying because it was very moving. He listened to the album and those were the words that he came with. And it was like a sign, like, okay, I'm in a good path. You know, Lin-Manuel opened a lot of doors for people like myself. And thanks to him, is that actually he wrote a beautiful letter for my green card and for my O1 visa back then. So he has been part of my journey in some way. I mean, he's very related and he's very familiar with it.
You said that, you know, a lot of times being an immigrant, you don't feel like you belong. Do you feel like you belong now, or you still feel like an outsider?
My experience has been very good. I mean, I haven't had like any racist problem, but sometimes you find people that doesn't help you as they should, or they don't want you to succeed because you're not from this country. And the other day that you just wake up and everything just like magic happened, you know? So every day is different. Some days, yes, I think that I fit. Some days I think that I don't. And this is struggling back and forth. But I have been very lucky and very blessed to find great people during my journey that they have helped me to stay here.
Can you tell me about the song You Gotta Change Your Name?
There's this very well-known Broadway performer. Her name is Mandy Gonzalez. He was performing in Hamilton right before all this. She had this interview, but he was mentioning that at the beginning of her career, her agent and her manager advised her to change her name, Gonzalez, to a more American Caucasian last name, because in other way, she's never gonna be able to work in the industry. I mean, she is Mexican, she is Latina, but she's white. I mean, she doesn't look like the classic cliche Latina that we have. So that has been always like a problem with casting and all those kind of things. But she decided not to do it, okay? When I read the interview, I decided to write a song about it.
Let's listen to a clip of You Gotta Change Your Name.
Back in the day when things were quite different, there was a little girl wanted to sing in musicals more than anything else in the world. So she packed up all her things and moved far away from her folks. Went to hundreds of auditions, some of them no more than jokes. She worked her butt off, she got some callbacks and got to finish songs. Little by little she started sensing something was going wrong. Final callbacks but no bookings, what were the forces unseen? And her agent told her, honey, you gotta change your last name cause you're so in between.
That's excellent. And let's hear a little bit from another song on the album, Hold Tight.
A baby barely more than 1 year old. A father holds her tight within his sweater. He keeps her warm through the wind and cold. He tells his daughter that it will get better. Hold tight, we are almost there.
Wow. So what is the story behind Hold Tight?
You know, Hold Tight is a story about a mother and a father in an immigrant caravan coming from the south, from Central America, going all the way through Mexico. How they are trying to protect their son and their daughter during this caravan. You know, as the title said, like hold tight to each other and hold tight to that dream. I mean, to know what is the reality of this caravan, that it's not like it's not like an army trying to attack another country. It's not like they're trying to invade. It's not, they're just trying to escape from what is a threat for them and just trying to make a better life. Sometimes not even for them, for their families. It's really, really, really hard. As a Mexican in the States, we're not happy with all the immigration laws, and we're not happy because everything takes too long, that it's very expensive. But the Mexicans are doing exactly the same to people coming from another countries, just making things hard.
Hypocritical. And what I love about your project is we don't have enough empathy for people's stories. And what your project does in your songs and in your music, you're giving color and depth, which hopefully will seep into American culture little by little and give everybody a little more empathy for the situations of other people.
Thank you. I think that was the perfect way to describe it.
All right, we're going to end our show with 9 more immigration questions. I'm going to answer it in 50 seconds in something we call the speed round. And if I do it successfully, Yo-Yo and Vanessa dance for you while I smile and try to dance. Maybe I'd do the white man's upper bite for a second or so. You know that one?
No, I don't. Oh.
You never heard that?
Never knew what it was called, but
Yeah.
I've definitely seen
it. All right, let's do it.
Can I stay in the U.S. with an expired I-20 but a valid F1?
A valid I-20?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh,
Can I get a license?
Expired I-20, you're out of status. Go.
Can I get a license with only F2 visa?
You can get a license in states that don't require documentation, such as New York, California.
If after I get my green card, can I apply for citizenship?
5 years later.
What is an I-134 form?
An affidavit of support for a non-family-based petition.
Can I still get my Social Security money if I move to another country?
Not legally.
After applying for asylum, how soon can I apply for a work permit?
1 year.
Can I sponsor someone overseas to work at my business? That was just, we started off a little rocky.
I mean, that was tough to watch, even from Miami. Like, that was
bad.
I didn't want to give up, but
I know.
I didn't understand, by the way. What I've learned is if I duck, I don't get burned. Yo-Yo just sat there All right, what are the other questions?
The first one.
Yeah. Can I sponsor someone overseas to work at my business?
Perhaps.
And then, can I expedite an I-485?
For unlikely, but you could always try it based on humanitarian reasons.
And how long does it take for a visa interview to be scheduled?
What type of visa interview? There you have it. 9 questions in 4 minutes. Comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day. What?
What? The comments of the day.
Right.
Do we have comments of the day?
We have no comments of the day.
Seems like we might.
The show that
Abiodun Jimo saying the show that shows and leads you to a successful immigration process to achieve and fulfill your American dream.
All right, finally.
And I have another comment of the day on YouTube. Oh, well, Demba Sad says the best lawyer of all time.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. I like that. That's a great comment of the day.
That is. Mm-hmm. We have another one.
Yes.
All right, our other comment of the day comes from, sorry, I'm reading from the side, guys. Yeah. Earth Angel Pert saying, Uncle Brad, even though I rarely comment, I hate when there are no shows. Missed you all.
Aw, thank you. Well, we'll be back tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
We have any more? That's
No,
it. All right, so we will be back tomorrow for sure, right?
Yes, we will.
Right, Vanessa?
Right here.
You're here?
Same time.
Yes, but we're not having tea tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
Tomorrow's Humpty Hump Hump Hump. Humpty Hump Hump Hump.
Yes.
We'll see you all tomorrow. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?